So it's Monday morning, July 8th. Today's the day of my first teaching class that was actually supposed to take place last Wednesday, but I was sick. That's the day I was at the Red Cross. So tonight, 5:15 is the first teaching session. Only 4 students are supposed to be there, which is good. And then got a conversation class Tuesday afternoon about the same time. And Wednesday, 8 a.m. is my next teaching session, bright and early in the morning. And then I got one on Friday afternoon. So a busy week coming up. I just remember the advice of my father: keep my priorities straight, take one thing at a time. That's all you gotta do. Do the best you can. So here I am back in my hostel room after a long day. As I mentioned in my previous video on my story, I was supposed to teach my first class this evening. I did. It was at 5:15 till 6. And it went well, better than I thought it would. There was an observer there from the school to observe, of course, how I did everything. And after the class was over, she gave me some feedback. And even one of the students, there was only 3 students in the room, which made it very easy to manage. One of the students, a young woman, said, "You're a good teacher." So that meant a lot to me. I really appreciated that. And I told them if they were good students, they were able to grasp the concept. I taught the present perfect tense, which is basically I have done, I have visited, I have eaten, so on and so forth. It's fairly easy to pick up. And the reviewer, we met in private, and she gave me this feedback. She said, my overall score was 8 out of 10, so that's really good. She said you had good rapport with the students. Usually when they have a substitute teacher, they tend to be shy. She said, not in this case. You were able to connect with the students and build rapport with them early on, which was great. She also said I had good time management because I knew that I had 50 minutes to present everything. I had a lesson plan that I showed her, and I just worked off the plan, off the photocopied pages from the teaching book. So I was able to stay on task. I used my smartphone timer in 5-minute blocks, although I stopped using the timer after a while. I was able to kind of find my groove, so to speak. Yeah, so it did great. She says, items for improvement: try to get the students to talk more. Instead of having me read instructions, you could have the students read a passage each. It wasn't a whole lot for them to read, but it would have made the class a bit more interactive for the students if they would read more, for example. And she says you could also walk down the aisle and observe the students more closely. I know there was 1 out of 3 who tended to be struggling. He was kind of lagging behind. So, but those are not major problems. Those are easily correctable. So that's great news. I'm really happy with how day 1 of teaching went. Tomorrow afternoon is a conversation class. I'm going to be talking about my country, the US of A. This will be very interesting. And Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. I have my next class. So I'll be preparing for that one tonight and tomorrow. I already got a head start on that. So overall, I'm doing really well here. I'm assimilating into the community, being a good student, and I found out today I'm a good teacher. So I'm very happy for all these things. And I'm also grateful for all my Facebook friends who are watching my stuff and asking questions. I really appreciate that. Have a good night.